Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I am here to give you my full thoughts on my favorite Creed fragrance. Of course, I am talking about Creed Viking, and I've spent enough time with it now. I've had it for a while. I've worn it enough times to where I'm ready to give you my full thoughts. So let's talk about it. Stay tuned. Starting with the presentation, here we have, it's a similar box to Aventus, has a similar style, only in bright red instead of black, has the Viking ship, Creed insignias all over. This is a 100 milliliter bottle. Creed heritage information on the top, nothing on the sides. You do have a lot of different fragrance information here on the back. Fragrance info on the bottom, batch code information. This is an 18E01 batch for those of you that care. But then in regards to this bottle, so it is a darker colored juice. It's a little bit darker than some of the newer bottles. Like I said, it is 1801. This is mirrored and reflected, as is the cap. You can see some of my fingerprints. One that you don't need a ton of sprays with, but we'll cover that in a little bit. More fragrance information on the back. Like I said, on the bottom you can see batch code, a couple different things etched in the glass. Cap does hold into place, has the red on top for the cap with the Creed insignia, and as always, Creed has fantastic atomizers. So I will have the notes on the screen for you guys. Spray the test strip just to remind myself. So the opening on this one, you get a blast of citrus and a whole bunch of aromatic spice. Lavender's a very strong player here. This allspice note mixed with this mintiness, it's just so bright and very, very fresh for as spicy as it is. It still has a warm spice to it, but a fresh spice as well because of all the citrus and the mint that you're going to get up top with this very aromatic lavender. Not too soapy, but definitely very strong presence of the lavender. It reminds me instantly of fragrances of old, like Old Spice specifically. Yes, it does smell similar to a fragrance that you can get a splash bottle of for like, I don't know, $8 I think is what it's going for these days for Old Spice. But it is on a completely different level. While has some similarities in scent profile, they are in no way the same quality of fragrance, nor would I say just get Old Spice, because that's not the case here. I like this more so than Aventus even. And I have a ton of ways to smell like Aventus, and I have a 19S11 bottle of Aventus, but ever since the first time I have smelled Creed Viking, I have been a fan. I think this is one of the better fresh, masculine, spicy fragrances ever created, because it's a love letter to the past while still bringing forth the quality of today's niche perfumes. Like I said, a very strong aromatic nature. As some of the citruses start to calm down, the clove starts to set in and darken it a bit more, adding to that spicy heart of what the core of this fragrance is all about. At its core, it's a spicy fragrance, and that's why I love it so much, because my two favorite types of fragrances are spicy fragrances and iris fragrances, which this does have some orris root in it, but it's not a strong presence. It offers a little bit of a waxy nature to it, not so much powdery or floral or anything like that. It's just a touch of orris. I don't get much of it. It doesn't really just jump out at me, but it does offer a little bit of a waxy quality in the mid of this fragrance as it starts to develop. Now once I get into the dry down, the spices never seem to go away. It's still a lot of spice at this point. I do get this fresh woody vibe. I'm guessing that's from the vetiver. I never get really much of the florals. I know there's a little bit of rose in here as well, but I never pick any of that out. At its core, like I said, it's all about spice, and it pretty much stays that way for me. It doesn't change drastically, but it does change a little bit over time through its stages. It starts off fresh, spicy, becomes more warm and warm spicy, and then a woody, spicy, still slightly aromatic dry down, but most of its aromatic nature is up top and in its heart. It's in the first few hours of the fragrance. This is a slightly, not even slightly, I would say this is a more mature fragrance. Only your aficionados in their 20s are gonna appreciate this, in my opinion. Of course, I could be wrong there, but based on my experiences, I can't picture too many guys in their early 20s really enjoying this one. This definitely has more of a masculine, old school appeal to it, while not smelling dated to me in any way, shape, or form. I think this is a masterpiece when it comes to masculine fragrances. Now let's get into performance. Now, this one is sneaky. So the longevity is there, the projection is more intimate. It's not real heavy. Little quick soliloquy for you guys. On my scent of the day TikTok video that was also in my YouTube stories for those of you that only watch me on YouTube, and also an Instagram reel, I shared it there as well. I sprayed 7 sprays of this, and I actually had more than one person tell me I sprayed too much. This is not a strong fragrance. Yes, in the first hour, every fragrance is strong in the first hour, but after about an hour, it really settles into what this fragrance is all about. This is a gentlemanly, spicy aftershave, old school aftershave type of smell. While not completely barbershop, it does have a little bit of a barbershop feel because it's aromatic and spicy, but I would say it's just so spicy that it takes it out of the territory of being completely barbershop. It doesn't completely smell like aftershave. It's a spicy ass aftershave, if you want to call it an aftershave type of smell, that is. So after about an hour, it does sit pretty close to the skin without being a skin scent. It doesn't really push heavy off of my skin. I do get wafts of it. It does let me know that it's there throughout its lifespan on my skin, which its lifespan on my skin is every bit of 8 hours. That's the beauty of this one. This is a not so in your face spicy fragrance that seems to last the average work day. This is a wonderful, wonderful work fragrance. It really is. If you are into spicy, if you are into more masculine spicy fragrances and you want something that's not too in your face, this has that type of performance to where it's not in your face, but it does seem to last on my skin anyways for every bit of 7 to 8 hours. That is the sweet spot for me personally in longevity. I do like more not so in your face fragrances than I do in your face fragrances. So this suits my style and my taste very, very well. The performance on this, I would say, based on the scent profile, is exactly what it should be. I'm sure there are some out there that wish it would project heavier, but like I said, for my taste, it is exactly as it should be. Above average longevity and, you know, kind of average, slightly below average projection. Overall, Creed Viking is a must try in my opinion. Not blind buy safe if you're not interested or completely into this type of scent profile, because it is pricey. Even at discounters, you're going to spend $200 and some odd dollars. I bought this from Fragrance Net. Was it the beginning of 2021 or the end of 2020? So it's within the last year I have bought this from Fragrance Net. I spent around low 200 range. You can expect to pay that from most. It is a standalone fragrance that they just recently flankered with Viking cologne. This is one that I say try before you buy, because it's well above that. Because once you start getting in that at $150 price point, I think blind buys are out the window, unless you just like to do that kind of stuff. That's me. I did blind buy this. It was like 220 bucks. I blind buy all the time. I blind buy so you don't have to, is kind of my motto. And I say sample. You can always get official samples from Creed. There are many, many, many places these days you can get a multiple size decant from 1 ml on up to, 1 ounce. So it all depends on what you're looking to spend, how much time you want to spend with it before you make your decision. But it's definitely a must try in my opinion if you're a fan of spicy, if you're a fan of barbershop, or if you're a fan of very masculine fragrances, because this is all of that and then some. Like I said before, this is my favorite fragrance from Creed. I believe as far as fragrances I've tried from the house, I want to say it's in the double digits, around 10, 11, maybe even 12 of their offerings now, and this is hands down my favorite, for sure. I've tried all the Freshies, Aralfa, Virgin Island Water, Millesime Imperial, Himalaya. I have a Ventus. I have a decant of Royal Oud. I have a decant of Green Irish Tweed, and so on. You get the idea. I've tried many of their offerings. I haven't tried everything, but this is definitely my favorite, which is why it was deemed full bottle worthy for me. So get your nose on this one if you haven't yet. I haven't tried Viking cologne, but based on what I'm hearing, This is way better. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on Creed Viking. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. Have you tried this? What are your thoughts on Creed Viking? This, like I said, this is one of my favorite niche pickups in a long time because of the versatility and the wearability. This is something that's light enough to where it can be worn in the hottest of summer, yet has enough spice and character and longevity on my skin for me to wear it in the coldest of winter with a hoodie, even if I want to, or a nice leather jacket, a nice overcoat with my suit, one of my suits. It does a lot. I feel like it's easygoing enough to be with a t-shirt, but it's definitely got a serious enough masculine vibe to go as dressy as you would like. Business professionals will love this fragrance. This is a grown man style fragrance for sure. Nothing little boy about this scent profile. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Creed Viking and you give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.